I feel like a lot of people underestimate how much food a backyard can actually produce. We have a little less than an acre here in our backyard, and there's no way we're using more than a fourth of it for our garden and our chickens. But I have hundreds of pounds of potatoes coming my way, and I haven't bought eggs in almost an entire year. We have 15 hens back here in our backyard. We started off with 9, and of course we were eating those eggs so much that we kept running out. So the only other logical thing to do was to let chicken math do its thing and get more chickens. Now we have 15, and the most I've gotten in one day so far, the new layers just started laying. The most I've gotten in one day so far has been a dozen. So my family is just drowning in eggs. Uh-oh. And this is the... Go figure, it's on a film day. This is the least amount that I've gotten in weeks. 6. But look at the olive green eggs that our Easter eggers are laying. So pretty. Maybe some of them laid inside the coop. And that's a no. I only got 6 eggs today. I've always loved eggs, but there's just something about coming back here every day and collecting fresh eggs from your own backyard that just hits a little different. If you could just grow one thing, I would highly recommend you grow potatoes. They're high in calories. You can make them so many different ways. You can store them for months in just a dark room, and you don't really need to preserve them in any specific way. You can grow them in grow bags. They grow in any type of medium. You can use just leaves from your backyard and cover them up, and they'll grow. This is our potato patch. It was super easy to make. I only spent half of a Saturday putting this all together. It was super cheap, super easy. All I did was I took cardboard from my work, made cuts, laid all the cardboard down in the shape I want them. These strips are 23 foot long. I put my seed potatoes directly on top of the cardboard, covered up all the potatoes with some soil. About a week went by and I realized the soil kept drying out super quickly, so I ran up to Walmart, grabbed a couple bags of straw, laid the straw on top, and instantly I could see such an improvement with the water retention in the soil. So definitely use some straw to cover up your crops. I planted a variety of Red Norland, Kennebec, and Yukon Gold. Probably about 2/3 white potato, 1/3 red potato. And if you ask me how many I planted, I lost count. I went a little mad. I started with 182 seed potatoes. I know I tossed some, not a lot, so I'm gonna guesstimate I have 150 potatoes here in this area, and I'm gonna be able to count them pretty soon because so many of them I'm just seeing potato everywhere I look. So I bet another week or so and I'll be able to count just how many I have planted. I came out here a few days ago and I counted exactly 100 plants so far. So if you're not a fan of ChatGPT, I apologize for this next part. But I did ask ChatGPT my estimated yield from the varieties I planted and how I planted them. And on the low end, I'm looking at 225 pounds of potatoes. On the high end, I could see about 750 pounds of potatoes. Don't get me wrong, I know I'm probably not going to get 750 pounds of potatoes. That's just if I have a great season, soil is perfect, there's no drought, yada, yada, yada. So if I come out of potato season with 200 pounds of potatoes, I am going to be thrilled. That just goes to show though, if I can get hundreds of pounds of potatoes from this small area, I can't imagine what our whole garden area is going to produce for us this year. Super easy, super simple, and they're so freaking delicious. And if you save some of the potatoes you grow, you can save some and replant them as your seed potatoes for next year, ultimately closing the loop of spending, and you'd just be pure profit after that. Over here in this bed, we have 158 Danver half-long carrots. At the end of carrot season, I'm really hoping just to pull about 75 good size carrots. Last year I tried them and I didn't thin them correctly. I just sprinkled them and left them, and each carrot was like itty bitty, super skinny. But I've done my research, and apparently if you thin them right, they're easy to grow. If not, there's always next year. We have 6 heritage red raspberry plants, and I really need to do something about this raspberry bed. The soil we bought for this bed was good at first, but then as time goes on, everything's just popping up, and maybe I'll lay some like garden fabric down to try to kill all the weeds before they take over the entire bed. A huge win for me right now is the fact that my onions are starting to thicken up. I did just give them some fish emulsion on Sunday, which was about 5 days ago, and I can really tell the difference from, Saturday to now with how much they've grown already. So I think I'm gonna try to give them some fish emulsion maybe every Sunday for the next few weeks and see how that goes. I don't know. What do my onion experts think? But look how thick this one looks. Right next to them in the same bed, we have our garlic, and our garlic is probably about 3 feet tall right now. It's ridiculous. I didn't know that garlic grew this high. Garlic is another one of those crops that, like potatoes, if you do it right and save your harvest, you only have to buy them one time. So for instance, I have 28 garlic growing right now, and if each garlic gives me 6 cloves, probably more, but let's just go with 6 for this video, then I could potentially plant 168 garlic next year. Now I'm not gonna, because I need my garlic for my tomato sauces and all that. But if I save half of that, that's a whole lot of garlic that I'm gonna be replacing next year from just saving some of the cloves from this harvest. This little oval bed I have right here is going to be my herb garden. I only planted my oregano and my thyme in here so far. I do have parsley and rosemary too to add in. I'm just waiting for it to be a little bit warmer outside. I actually think I'm going to throw my parsley in with my tomato wall. I have 14 Eversweet Everbearing strawberries in this bed, along with about 7 big, huge onions. Not really, but big compared to the other bed. I know I'm supposed to pick off the flowers, but they're supposed to spread, and it just hurts to even think about taking them off. In this bed, I just sprinkled in some leftover lettuce and spinach. Along with this bed, I sprinkled in some lettuce and spinach. Mainly just because I had the seeds and the beds weren't being used until cucumber season, where I can throw in a trellis and have endless cucumbers this summer. If you've never made homemade pickles, you don't know what you're missing. We do have 6 broccoli plants over here. If you're wondering why I covered them up, it's because last year we tried to plant some broccoli and the stupid cabbage moths laid their eggs and ate our broccoli plant, and we didn't get any broccoli. So I'm sure that even if just 3 of these can produce some broccoli for us, that'll be well enough what we need to survive probably all of our year's worth of broccoli. We love broccoli, we just don't eat it too often. So let's see what this is looking like. Ooh, it looks nice. Don't let me fool you. They don't all look this nice. This is the nicest looking one. But I am still super excited that we're doing it. We're freaking doing it. And I guess that's all. Back behind me is our blueberry bed. I didn't think that they were doing too great, but I just looked at all 5 of them, and 3 out of the 5 have new leaves on them. So maybe I'm just being a little dramatic thinking that they're not growing. I don't know, maybe they just need more time. I purposely put all these 4 beds together because I knew I needed 2 12-foot rows to grow enough green beans for my family. And that's exactly what I'm going to do straight on these 2 edges. I'm going to put a tunnel trellis and I'm gonna succession plant green beans all summer long. And this bed right here is going to be our tomato wall. It's 20 foot long, about 2 feet wide, and we're going to plant Hungarian heart tomatoes. We went with that variety because it's an heirloom type. We can save the seeds and regrow them next year, close that loop of buying the seeds and such. That's my husband's dream, is to close the loop. But yeah, we're growing Hungarian heart tomatoes to make all of our tomato-based products, our ketchup, tomato sauce, ketchup, barbecue sauce, marinara sauce, pizza sauce. I mean, anything that you can possibly think needs tomatoes, that's what I'm gonna go for. I have 26 plants to plant. I have 26 Hungarian heart tomato plants just up in my driveway waiting for me to bring them back here, but there's one more 30-degree night coming up, and I'm just gonna wait until after that night passes to plant them out, because I spent way too much time loving and caring for these babies for them to die over just one 30-degree night. I'm sure we're going to be drowning in tomatoes and be sick of seeing red by the time we're done making all of our sauces this summer. Listen, grocery prices are never going to go back down, and this is just a small thing that we're doing to add some food security back into our future. With the way the world is, we really don't want to rely on systems we can't control. We built this entire backyard over the course of a year and a half. If we can do it, you can do it. Grow your own food.